You've been avoiding building boxes because the joinery looks too complicated. Miters look fiddly, dovetails look impossible, and you assume you need years of practice before you can make anything that looks halfway decent. But here's the truth. Most boxes don't need complicated joinery, but they do need proper setup. If you miss that, the parts never fit. So today, 3 joints, 3 boxes, 3 different results. I'll show you the setup that makes each one work, and you can forget about dovetails until you actually want to learn them. By the end, you'll have 3 joints you can use tomorrow, and we'll start with the simplest joint in woodworking. The butt joint. 2 pieces meeting at 90 degrees, end grain to face grain. Kitchen cabinets use them, and they work fine for shop projects. But here's where it goes wrong. You measure carefully, 100 millimeters, you cut. You measure again, 100 millimeters, and you cut again. But look, they aren't the same. Your tape might be spot on, but how you hold the pencil or where the blade cuts, tiny differences can add up. And if these lengths don't match, your box won't be square. So stop measuring and use a stop block. It guarantees every piece is identical. And nobody's going to notice if your box that should be 100mm is actually 99.7. But what they will notice is a wonky box. It works, but the glue surface is small. Just that thin edge. And alignment during glue up is tricky. To get more strength and easier assembly, you need to level up. The rebate, or rabbit if you're in the US. This is stronger than a butt joint because you've got more glue surface, and it looks cleaner because you only see a thin line of end grain instead of the full thickness of the wood. But here's where things can go wrong fast. You measure, you set your fence, and you make your cuts, and the pieces don't fit. The cut's too deep or the edge is proud. I learned this the hard way on a box I was making for my wife's birthday. It was a beautiful piece of elm and I had just enough for the project. I got overexcited thinking about how great it was going to look, so I was rushing to finish. And I messed up the sides but didn't have enough to make them again, so I had to remake the whole box using some oak instead. Now the second one turned out great and my wife absolutely loved it, but every time I see it, I feel a little stab of regret. So what's the fix? How do you get a perfect fit every single time? Well, you sneak up on it. Set the fence using the wood itself, but nudge it in so you cut less than you need. Set your blade height for the depth and aim for about half the thickness of the wood. Use an offcut and then make a test cut. Test your piece. Too small? Tap the fence just a tiny amount and cut it again. Then repeat this until it fits perfectly. Now at this point it feels slow, but it guarantees the fit every time. Once you've set it up, you can whiz through all the other cuts. Now although there's less end grain on this one, it's still here on the side. If you want the grain to run continuously around the corner, we have to level up again. Quick thing before we get to that, projects like these boxes are great for using up small pieces of scrap, but only if you can find them. I created a free scrapboard organisation system that shows you how to sort, store and actually use your offcuts instead of letting them pile up until you eventually throw them away. It's completely free, the links are in the description, so grab it now while you're thinking about it. Let's move on. The mitre. This is the one that scares people. Not because it's weak, but because it's honest. Gaps don't lie. You can fix this with the screwdriver trick, which is burnishing the corner to hide the gap, but you'll always know it's there. The real solution is setup, not a cover-up. If you set your table saw to exactly 45 degrees, if something is even a hair off, you've got a 50% chance that there'll be a gap on the outside. So don't. Aim for 44.9 degrees. Undercut it. This creates a back bevel and it forces the outside edges to touch first. It leaves a microscopic gap on the inside where no one will see it, but the outside is dead shut. See that? Tight outside corner, no gap. That's all set up. Now, the chances are you've got a blind corner cupboard in your kitchen. You know the one. You can't see what's in there, you can't reach half of it, and every time you open it, you're surprised by what you find buried at the back. I built a solution using exactly these box building techniques. 4 sliding boxes that transform the most frustrating cupboard in my kitchen. Check it out here.